we're here for another episode of Campus to Careers, and today I'm here with Jayneel Jasapara, who is from Deakin University, and he's just completed his master's in business analytics. Is that correct? And I'm meeting Jayneel for the first time, and I'm super excited to find out about his journey and life as a student, and also now working in Melbourne. So welcome. If I could please start by asking you some questions around your study life, background, academics, university, and professional aspirations.
So I'll give my quick background. So I come from India, from the place of Gujarat. I come from a city called as Rajkot. I've done my bachelor's in business administration. So I've played sports back in India, especially cricket in my district. And the business side of sports has been, I have been in industry since last 5 years, starting with working in India by starting as a sports side of my university, where I've organized events at that time. And during the time of COVID, I've done a course with Rajasthan Royals, which is an IPL team. And the Deakin University was an affiliated partner of it at that time. So I started hearing the name of Deakin a lot. And that has brought me my take to come to an Australia, because Melbourne is called as a sporting capital of the world. And Deakin University is number one university in the sports. But the course I have choose is of the business analytics, because in the future run space, I always wanted to do a business in sports, and I really like the numbers and the data. So I've explored myself to pursue a course which is in the business degree. So I came in 2023 at Deakin University just like a normal international student, and so that's been my start of my journey.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, around the fun style questions, so let's dig into it. So if you were to describe your university experience with a coffee order, what would it be?
Definitely, I'll connect that with cappuccino, because that's what I normally prefer to have it. And to get around with my study experience in Australia, so it's always been my 2 years in Australia, and I've during my study time I have got lots of opportunities to be a part of the networking event, meeting the professionals who have already worked in the sporting area. And Deakin has played a huge role in shaping my career and has given me lots of exposure in terms of how I am approaching the sports. The faculties were good. I've done one of the electives with Deakin in sports, which was sports marketing, and that has brought me a new insights on how the game has been played in Australia. It's pretty good, and I'll definitely give it a cappuccino to that.
It resonates with your cappuccino with a kick of hot chocolate on
Yeah.
top. All right. And what was your first thought when you had your first interview in Australia? How was your experience? Share that with us.
Sure. So when I came in Australia, so in 2023, there were unlimited working rights, and all my colleagues, family members were very much open that you should find a work which pays you good. Normal international student, get it into casual or something. But I always wanted on the back of the mind, I had a belief that I'll end up somewhere which is connected to my passion. So I met one of the prominent coach here. His name is Shannon Young, and I just messaged him that he knows me from India. We have got some personal connections, and I just went to his office directly to see what he is doing, and that eventually is like, you can come from here from next week, and we'll see how it goes. So it was a Thursday on which I go, and for 3 months I just enjoyed the thing which he was building was at Cricket Performance Lab, which was on the cricket technology side. I have never seen any as being a player. My eyes were starstruck when I've seen such a technology has been used in cricket. And so that was my first experience and that moment. And I'm always grateful to him and his entire team. Because of them, whatever I have done in my career in Australia is because of them.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's very good. So it actually shows how courageous you are, that you followed your passion, you followed your dreams. It's kind of like you didn't even wait for the interview. You just wanted to go there and find out for yourself. So that is amazing. Kudos to you. And around one of the funniest moments or the most unexpected reality shock moment you had around the work culture or professional environment or Aussie slang. So what's the funniest moment or most unexpected reality shock for you?
That's pretty good and on the spot question. So during the same time in last year, I was working with Richmond Cricket Club. Everything was going good. And I was in the perception that cricket has been played for 12 months, you'll get a work as a student, and at the end of March, when the cricket season finishes, everything was shut in cricket. Everybody shifted that focus from cricket to footy. And so me coming with a limited experience back then in 2023 with just playing one sport and working in one sport has brought a reality shock for me that you need to be flexible and you need to be adaptable to different sports and understanding of it. And that has shifted, but because of that reality show, I've entirely shifted my focus from in the sports tech space. So now I'm mostly, and the AI is buzzing it around, so I always building it out and researching on how I can bring AI and sports together since last April. So that was a shock for me in the last April when the cricket season was shut and there was no works for that. But there was one thing, one door is closed, another door is open. So that was my experience on that.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for that. So, around the academics and career insight, so how different was it for you studying in Australia as compared to back home?
It's pretty different. So the place from where I am coming is the Gujarat, which is in India. So it's very theoretical and very bookish knowledge. To be very honest, you learn from the books and you give the exam. It's typically that type of education which has been provided. That's a very different perspective. But I was looking for something which is more adaptable, which are more on the practical task and more work on the project base. That's the main difference why I choose to come to Australia over any other country, was because the people are very project oriented people, and there are lots of tasks and projects can be explained with a good theoretical knowledge. So the basically that in very simple terms, I say the knowledge back in India has been more of a bookish theoretical knowledge, and in Australia it's more of a practical and on the task based knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And what's the most fun thing about university life in Australia?
Oh, there is no attendance. No, just kidding around. But university experience was pretty good. It's pretty much fun. You connect with different international students. So you meet different people, understand their perspectives, their world. I have friends who are from China, from Nigeria. How is their life? I have friends from US, lower background, higher background, wealthy family, but all had the common motto they want to do something good in their life. Everybody has their, as a student, you get lots and lots of opportunities to explore your career. Some are in sports, some are in tech, some are in analytical side, some are in engineering side. But ultimate purpose is everybody's to grow their career. Somebody's are into the parties, so university organize the parties. So there are many clubs which are run by. So I studied in Deakin, and there are many clubs which was run by DUSA, so Deakin University Student Association, and which I've been into a couple of clubs, also volunteering them. And there was sports club. There was my friend was running a dance club back in uni. So there are many students who are doing different activities, and that's the fun part best about living a university life.
So, create your own initiative, isn't it? That's what you're saying, absolutely. Now, if you could change one thing about how international students are supported throughout, whether it's uni life or in general, what would it be?
To be very honest, the perspectives when an international student comes here, there are lots of going off from figuring your house, your roommates, getting all the fixing your grocery stuff because you are moving to a completely different country without having support of your parents or anything. So the basic support the association can do, and they are currently also doing it up to make more meetups and more meetups between the same culture of students, make a group, make a fun based activity. And if they are, let's say if they are into, they're liking something, let's say if I'm talking about myself which is in sports, so you can make a group in connected to sport about how to do a business, because Australian culture, which I personally seen, it's more of a job market, that how you can get a full-time job after you studying. But I haven't found anything. If you want to start your business in Australia, let's say in any field, what are the things which you can do it? So if it's not 100% that students are meant to do a jobs, they can start the business, they can do whatever they want, they can do freelancing, they can, everybody's in the one red race of after degree I need a job. But that mindset can also be changed. After a degree you can also start a business. So that's where I think this can be worked by universities and the government on bringing more on the business side of the things.
That's so true, and that's great advice as well. So, It's opening your horizon and spectrum, not just being job ready, but you could be an entrepreneur trying something else, or yourself being in sports. So absolutely. Now, if you were to change one thing about how international students are supported, and you pretty much have answered this question in your last question anyways, what it'd be, but if you would like to add to it or anything you want to add to it.
That was the main thing. The two things which I mentioned to make it very simple to understand. One is about making more entrepreneurship initiatives for the students to explore the different career pathways. And number two is by the universities is to make a career fair which are suitable for students. So I have seen a couple of career fairs for the companies from the dream companies of the students come from there. But there are lots of visa restrictions. They come, okay, we are just looking for PR candidates. So the student mindset is like, then why you are here? So there are a couple of only few companies who are accepting international students. And so that thing can be thought by the universities because as per the data, so right now it's maybe 40-16 ratio that there are lots of migrants coming in this country who wants to build their career. So there needs to be more companies and more advertisements of how their universities are approaching the students to apply for that thing, and the companies needs to be part which are accepting the
And
international
that would
students.
support,
It
it's
would
not
support.
the network. So that answers the question. Thank you so much. And what's one skill you've learned in Australia that you think it will help you throughout your career? Could be a skill or
This networking chat-up. So networking has played a huge role in this. So for me, the networking has started when I was seeing my father going for the BNI Miss business meets,
oh
and
yes,
he used to take me. You just sit here. He was dressing it up properly, meeting the other people, exchanging the cards,
yeah,
and that was the moment when you do this. And not in business, in the job also, you can get promoted. If you're in business side, you can get more deals and everything. So
yes,
for me, networking is the skill on which I am also working. So
yeah.
each and every person is working and evolving at every day. So networking is something which I like to meet people. I understand about the different perspective they bring on the table, and that's the only skill on which I'm working as of
Yeah,
now.
no, this is golden words, networking. Absolute. That's a key element in everything, basically, right through. So, questions around some SWOT style questions like your weakness, opportunities, and threats. So, around your field, in your area of study as well, what's your biggest strengths that you discovered while studying in Australia and further too while working in Australia?
So the biggest strength which I personally think is a strength which I have adopted is to learn the upcoming trends very quickly. So right now in my field, which is in sports, so I have been working with, I volunteer in one of the events called a Sports Tech World Series, where all the big businesses and entrepreneurs came over there, and the sports tech and AI is booming right now. So I always keep my strength on what are they doing it up, what are the trends which are coming it up. So right now you may see on Ghibli effect going around, all the people are making the Ghibli effect videos on socials. So that's a part of AI. So right now agentic AI, Gen AI, and everything is coming. So all this AI had also been used in sports. So that's where I'm getting into in my next upcoming projects, to work in the side of the sports tech and AI, and how I can ultimately help the organizations to build their online reputation very good. So that's my upcoming next 2 to 3 projects.
Which is also one of your strengths that you're using, upskilling that. Absolutely, thank you. And what's one of the challenge or weakness that you have faced as an international student, and how did you overcome it as well? And again, I'd love to hear from your sports background knowledge and all the textiles. So I'll let you answer that.
So the biggest weakness, to be very honest, when I came here, so I came with that, I'll personally call the word of an ego, that I have learned the business degree, I'm doing a business degree, I need to be working at the top companies in the sports. This is now how it works. You need to start from the grassroots sports. You need to go at a very local club, show your work, bring the value at their table first, and always think how this club is getting benefited rather than thinking what benefit I can get from the club. So in my first year, I was with the mindset of what benefit I'll get out of this, but I've changed my entire focus at what services I can provide to that club which can make them big. Ultimately, individuals will be bigger, but the main purpose is what organization, clubs, or business is getting bigger should be the main priority. So that was my weakness, but how I overcome it is just by exploring different options. And at one stage of the career, you know that there are smart brains who are ahead of you. You need to keep humble, you need to stay humble and learn from them, and that's the main thing which I've focused on that.
So you're saying that you really converted your weakness into a strength by giving back. Absolutely. Thank you. And what are the opportunities you see for international students in Australia?
It's massive. Whichever you select a field, there is a lots of opportunities. So I've seen international students. I'll give you answer in very two simple background. So one comes with an intention of making big billionaires. They want to become, and second are the people who really want to change the world. I belong to the second category. Of course, the first part is
Me too.
yes, first part is important. The second part is more important in the terms of innovation and what you can give back to the society is really important. So there's heaps of opportunities for international students in any field. And personally, I also feel apart from different countries, why Australia is best because it gives you the safety that I have never seen any type of racism or anything like that in my workplace. All were very friendly, all were very supportive. And I've seen in the opposite ways when same culture people meet and they always want to cut you and out. So same caste, but I've never seen from the local people here, which I really like apart from other countries.
That's very interesting. And exactly, that's how I feel as well. So, in my 22 years as well, same thing. I'm so much gelled well in the society that you don't feel the difference. And that's also how your perception is as well. Some people don't think it like that, but it's all about your own perception. Exactly. And in terms of threats or challenges, what do you think international students need to be prepared for?
The biggest threat is visa, right? The biggest threat is visa. Just because you come up with the normal student visa, you finish your student visa, you move to temporary graduate visa. If you are starting your business, you may go to different visa. I'm not the migration agent, so I won't know about visa. But the visa's conditions have been very much decided by the government, which are not in control of your hands. So that is a threat. But the only thing to overcome from threat is try to keep all the finances and everything very clear on the books of the government. When you're filing a tax, try to file a return of the income you're earning from the part times and casuals because that's very important. Lot of students, majority don't focus on that. But if you're making money in Australia as a student, you need to give back to the government. And that's a very golden rule. If you give to the government, ultimately the government will help you in the future's case. So this is what I think.
That is amazing advice, golden words, and such diverse experience. And I think you're definitely a do not. I think I know that this message is going to get passed on to so many international students who are going to take this advice on board. Absolutely. In terms of some aspiration and final messages, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Well, you definitely seen me on the business side of the sports, that's for sure. So
Are you going to make your own sports team, cricket team?
no, so I'll get into the business side of sports in next 5 years. I'll build my company which is into the space of the sports technology space. That's my aspiration at one stage of the time in next 5 years, and these are the targets which I kept. So let's see how it goes.
Fantastic and good to see an entrepreneurial side of things. And here's a new business owner. So, absolutely. And what advice would you give out to the students considering coming to Australia?
Just be well prepared for all the situations can come and always make best case scenario and worst case scenario. The best case scenario is once you land, you'll have the fantastic degree, you'll work somewhere, you'll make a handful of connections, go to networking. It's just the best part. But the worst part is there are lots of students who struggle to find their first house. They try to stay in the student accommodation, paying heaps of money. And so you need to prepare for the worst case scenario. You'll not make big good friends because all are so busy in building their own career. So you need to have a group of 5 friends or 10 friends who will help you. So you need to be ready for best case scenario and worst case scenario.
That is such golden advice. Networking, but keep connected to the people who you resonate with as well. That's amazing. And in terms of if you could send one message to Australian employers and recruiters, what would you like to pass on as a message?
I'm a sports tech guy, excited to build something which is connected to AI in sports, very futuristic in the mindset, and can't wait to help your business to grow at the next heights.
Oh, fantastic. So good. I'm so inspired because it is about the skill set that needs to get looked at, absolutely. And a final question around if you had a chance to sit down with the Australian government or policymakers, what would you like to, for 5 minutes, what would you like to suggest or ask them?
Bring money in the sports entrepreneur side. Try to run more initiatives which are for the students who are just graduate, how they can build their own business in sports. So this is a problem which I faced, and that would be my ultimate 5 minute conversation with Australian government. There are lots of programs which have been done by many ASTN is running, many different organizations, but there's not much marketing on that. When you're that's what I'm getting back to. Student they come up with 80% want to do a job. What about the rest 20% who want to build out something? So this is my only conversation which I would like to have with the Australian government.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Daniel. It has been a pleasure talking to you. And what a different mindset and aspiration into entrepreneurship and business ownership right through from university, and especially your passion for sport. I'm definitely a cricket fan, obviously coming from the Indian subcontinent, so you're grown up with that sport. But hearing it from you as an international student firsthand and your plans for the future has definitely inspired me. And congratulations also on securing the role as well in the field of your choice and field of study. So thank you for making it for me, for us, and for Campus to Careers.
Thank you very much for having me. It was such a nice conversation and really grateful for the conversation. That's it.
Thank you, Jayneel. And that's it. And tune in for our next episode of Campus to Careers. Ciao.